Hi, I'm Dr. Tina Segosho.
And I'm Dr. Davin.
And welcome to our second episode of His and Hers podcast.
Yeah, that was awesome. So last time we did this, we ran out of time and wine, so we decided to cut it short. And we've got other questions we want to answer, and we're going to do that today. Shall we get right to it?
Absolutely.
Okay. Dr. Segosho.
I think I might need my glasses for the freebie.
Yeah, it's tiny. All right, so just pick a number between 1 and 20.
12.
Not 12. Pick a different number.
11.
Okay, 11. The question is, what advice would you give to someone entering their 40s?
Entering their 40s.
And we can extrapolate too if you want to 50s or something like that. And you've been there a little longer than I have, so you probably have more experience. But 40s by all
Only by
means.
2.5 years.
Go ahead.
Advice for those entering their 40s. That time frame is critical for establishing better habits because those habits will start to be more sustainable as you get older because all of the typical signs of aging, start to take place, well beyond that. But it's certainly easier when your good habits are established.
So kicking the bad habits, establishing the good habits.
Establishing more sustainable habits. Probably should give examples.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
More strength training, more physical movement, and really dialing in your nutrition.
So now that we're in our 50s, is it too late?
Oh, it's never too late.
Because I don't feel like I did that in my 40s.
No, we did. Remember? We started doing macros.
No, you did macros.
No, you did
I
it with
couldn't.
me.
No, I couldn't deal with that. That was too much thinking. The 40s are interesting, right? I mean, the 20s and 30s, you're kind of figuring things out. But you think you have it figured out. You think you know everything, and then you realize when you hit 40, you didn't know jack. You didn't know nothing, and now you're adulting, and you really have to, like you said, establish
I think
those.
for a lot of people, the kids are older too. And you have a little bit more time on your hands to think things through.
Yeah, no, for sure.
But we were old.
So
I
what do
was
you?
older starting though.
Yeah,
A family. Or when we started our family.
I know you were what we call AMA, advanced maternal age.
Yes, I was 35 with Mia
Yeah,
and 37 with Rowan. So I didn't have much time.
I know you wear it well.
Thank you.
But so what would just real quick? I want to try to give some advice to someone enter the 40s.
Pay more attention.
Well, yeah, to your relationships with people. I think it is true, and because these are the people that you're going to be around for a long time, and it's nice to respect that and respect them and have that rescinded. Or I'm sorry, not rescinded, but returned. This is kind of an interesting question.
Yeah.
I don't know. I should have thought about it a little bit more beforehand, but yeah, we're gonna go to the next question.
Yeah.
I think
it's a harder question.
Yeah, because I don't think we're giving this due.
How do you define success at this stage in your life?
Oh, man. So, how do you define success? Success to me is, oh my goodness. I feel like success, let me have a little sip of wine, is knowing where you've been, honoring where you've been, and learning from where you've been. But also now you've got to build on that, and you want to leave something behind, leave a legacy of some type. You want to leave the world better than you came to it.
How is it for you?
For me, it's being.
That's it. It's all of that.
Honestly, it's having a family that I respect and love and care about. It's having children that I think are good in this world and are producing and being good citizens, because right now it seems like there's a lot of question marks around, but we're not going to get into that kind of stuff. Success to me is our kids growing up and being good citizens, good people that I want to be around.
And who will take care of us?
Hopefully we take care of ourselves.
Success for with our children is if they want to take care of us when we get older. Not because they have to, but because they want to.
So you're not going to be successful until they start taking care of us.
That's just one measure of success for me as a parent.
Yeah, as a parent, yeah, for sure.
Going back to the question, how do you measure success at this stage of your life?
Right now, I'm financially successful. I enjoy my job. I make a difference. I enjoy my relationship with you. I like where we're heading. I like where you're heading. I like where I'm heading. I like where our kids are heading. And that to me is a success. This is, I think, really applicable to you, and I want you to answer this. How has your career evolved as you've gotten older? And it's not just getting older, but what has changed as you've gotten older that has kind of influenced how you've evolved your career?
My career, my specialty, has been obstetrics and gynecology, and that has been a very demanding specialty where I'm not in control of a lot of what happens, especially with obstetrics. So, for example, when I deliver babies, they come at any time. In the early years of my career, I was really dedicated to making sure I could complete a patient's care from the start of her pregnancy to her delivery. Mm-hmm. And I felt very proud of the fact that I could do all of my own deliveries for the most part. And then carrying a full office schedule of seeing patients Monday through Friday, those kinds of demands took me away from the family. The evolvement of my career, especially the decision I made last year, was to end obstetrics because I felt that I was ending at a good point where I had a good run. I had already been 16 years into delivering babies, and I reflected on how much time I really missed with the kids and with you. And I decided that I didn't want the rest of my career or my future to not be around, not be present. And so part of my decision to end obstetrics was so that I could be home more.
Which is ironic, right? Because now the kids are leaving.
Ironically, the kids are. Yes, we will have 2 in college. The other part of that was making a decision to really dive into my midlife women's health and really become a very staunch advocate for midlife women's health. And that has allowed me to really change my approach to my career and become more of an educator, a coach, and an advocate, more than just a treating doctor. I am thrilled with where I'm at.
Cheers to that. It was interesting. That is a really thoughtful answer. I was thinking a little differently for you.
Oh, really?
Well, I was thinking about how menopause was affecting your operating room.
Correct.
And how it really influenced what you felt you could do in that environment.
That is a very unique part of the change in my career. And it's a very difficult one to talk about, to be honest, because when you are at your peak and you think you are indestructible and you're doing a great job, and then one day you feel like you can't even get out of bed and then perform all of those amazing skills, it really affected me a lot. Yeah. So, yes, that is a very unique part of my involvement.
I mean, I saw it firsthand. I was there in the operating room with you a few times. Right. I didn't appreciate it at the time until later on when you told me what was going on. Well, hormones for the win.
What are your thoughts on aging gracefully? What does that even mean to you?
What does that even mean to me, aging gracefully? Well, I remember when I turned 40? I was determined to maybe 45.
It was a long time ago.
It was a while ago. Longer than now I can't remember back then.
Well, how did you age? Did you think you were aging gracefully?
Well, no, I made a conscious decision. Oh. I made a conscious effort to basically, I was determined to lose weight, get in shape, and just make some changes about me. And I remember I was doing, what was I doing? That beach body thing? Who that dude is, I can't remember his name. Matter. Yeah, well, I hated him for quite a while. I tore up my knee and had all that good stuff doing that. But it was a conscious decision. And it really wasn't until I turned about 49, 48, I think, that I really decided to take...
You went backwards?
No, I didn't go back. I just it became more challenging, more physical, and I couldn't handle it with my knees and stuff. So then later on, I think aging gracefully is just kind of taking control of your situation and making it better, not just accepting. Mm-hmm. And that's where I felt 3 years ago? Was it? How long has it been since I started the testosterone? Always going back to T. But that's when I decided I'm going to age how I want to age. So I did that, and now I feel like I can enjoy what the fruits of our labor of like enjoy us. That was just revolutionary for me. Everything changed. I mean, everything. My mindset, my body,
Yes.
everything.
Everything. I guess my definition or my perspective of gracefully is without discomfort. Anything that happens without discomfort. Menopause, perimenopause is not comfortable. So I think many women, like myself, consider that time of our lives not to be very graceful because there's a lot of discomfort in how we change hormonally and how that impacts everything else. But if you can come to the other side of things and feel better and you end up making better decisions and you're doing better, that feels like the graceful part of aging.
Once again, we want to thank Thatcher. This time we're drinking something called Serious Play. Unlike last time, it was Controlled Chaos. I mean, they got some interesting names. Very nice. 2021 from Thatcher. I'm going to pour a little bit. Would you like some more? You doing okay?
Can you? I don't want you to get it on our white couch.
I'm very well controlled.
That's what I'm worried about.
I know.
But a wonderful wine. And shout out to Thatcher.
Thatcher.
Winery in Dos
Palos. Paso Robles. Robles. Paso Robles. Dos Palos.
Not Dos Palos. No offense.
Once again, yes. How do you approach parenting differently now?
Is it bad to say that I don't think I've changed in my style of parenting?
I don't think it's bad to say, but you have to defend it.
I still expect my kids to be respectful, and I'm always correcting them yes and no and please and thank you. That hasn't changed. I think I'm a lot more patient than I was when they were younger.
Sure, yeah, that's true. So true.
So that has definitely changed. But I'm still very nitpicky about what they're eating, about their health habits. They've never really given us any problems socially. I mean, they have very good sets of friends. We have good kids.
No, we do.
Considering how busy we were in the early stages of our career, and we had that revolving door kind of parenting. I was the morning parent, you were the afternoon, evening parent, and then, we were lucky if we were both home at night to put them both to bed. And
your style hasn't changed, but has your approach?
I want to spend more time with them.
Yeah, no, they're good people. I really can't wait to take my daughter to a bar and have a drink with her.
Oh my gosh.
No, I think that's going to be the coolest thing ever. Or my son, we were going to go to, Germany for Oktoberfest, but it's not going to happen now.
Why?
Because this is first week of school.
Oh, that's right. That's interesting. That's
but I thought that'd be
the first thing I want to do with them as adults.
Well, no, my approach changed. I wouldn't want to do that when they're 13. But I'm saying now that they're going to be like older. That's my approach is changing. Okay. See how that works? I'm just answering the question that was presented to us.
All right.
I'm very literal.
Have you noticed any generational differences in how people view aging?
So like your generation versus mine? Is that what you mean?
Oh my God, this is just getting so much better.
Well, I remember being a kid, like when I was 12 years old, looking at my dad, who was probably, he was probably 30 or maybe 40, and thinking, God, he's old. And he knows everything. They know everything. And then I remember hitting my 40s going, I know nothing. I don't know why they gave me kids. This is crazy. We're like, we don't know what we're doing. These kids, I kill plants. How am I going to keep a kid alive?
I think you did an amazing job.
Well, we both, but that's what you realize is that nobody knows what the hell they're doing. They just, you try to make good decisions and you go with it and you do what's right
But I think the question is asking, what are some of the generational differences?
So like, have you ever seen those little things on TikTok? Because I'm hip
You're
that way.
You're a TikToker.
Well, I talk the tick. And, but they show like the age of the Golden Girls.
It's going to be my example.
But see, that's where we're at right here.
So can I?
And they're like, how old were they? How old was B. Arthur? Was like 45.
I don't know how old they were in the show, but the idea was that, they were probably in their 50s and 60s. And there's a great meme of Blanche from the Golden Girls and Jennifer Lopez.
Oh, yeah.
And them being the same age. And I remember that meme so distinctly because, yes, that has evolved. I certainly don't think our generation now looks at aging in the Blanche style. I think we are very much the Jennifer Lopez style, where our approach, where we're doing what we want, we're trying to be as healthy as we can be, and we want to continue to do the things that make us happy.
Yeah, no, 50 is not the same now as it was back then, for sure.
Yeah,
Thank God.
I think our generation now is really pushing back.
50 is the new 30. Yeah. Well, you know, I was picking an age. I didn't want to go too far, and I thought 30 was appropriate. What are your biggest priorities now, both personally and professionally?
Creating more time for us, the family, and that also overlaps with being more efficient with my time at work so I can have more time.
I've noticed that. I remember saying, hey, you're home right now. This is my private time. Why do you keep coming home? You're messing up my private time.
I know. You have been genuinely surprised at how early I'm coming home.
I was like a military spouse, you know, like when you've been deployed and now you come back and you're just like trying to fit in. And I'm like, no, I'm controlling the situation. What are you doing?
I haven't been gone that much.
No, I know. But you typically weren't coming home till 8, 9, late. And now I'm seeing you there's daylight. It's
We're
really
making dinner.
It's a nice change. I like it.
I'm really trying to ensure we can dial in as best as we can so we can really live a good quality life together, future together.
So our priorities definitely changed. Like you focus more on, health because we're, approaching those ages where, hey, colonoscopy, you need your pneumococcal vaccine, AARP is reaching out like every day. And then, but, before that was like, whatever, old timer, get away from me.
Yeah, because I think that we are definitely at a point where we want to make the most of our years left. And I don't want to be in a nursing home. I don't want you to be in a nursing home. I don't want us to have any permanent disabilities.
I don't want to be in a nursing home. And if you love me, you won't put me in one.
I will never put you in a nursing home.
You see that now?
It's on camera too.
No nursing. Well, look, if it's needed, it's needed.
You can't really bash nursing homes. But,
no, we're not bashing them. But I'm just saying I'd rather not be there.
I don't want us to be debilitated.
We enjoy our time. We enjoy. Be able to ambulate. Be able, and that sounds silly to say, but be healthy enough to enjoy our time, to travel and actually explore and things like that.
And still be intimate?
Well, yeah.
Because that's important.
Yeah. No, I agree. Cheers to testosterone.
Till we're 80.
Is there anything you've let go of in your 40s or 50s that brought you peace?
Oh, yes. I finally let go of blaming you.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
The early years of living here in Merced, where we were met with an unfortunate situation of losing your mom about 6 months after we moved here. And then we chose to stay here in this house that you grew up with your dad.
Did not grow up here.
Well, you know what I mean.
Technically. It was like a year of my life.
But the house, this was your family house.
My
that was not
parents'
necessarily what I wanted when we moved out here. And then, so from, the first 10, 12, 15 years, I just was very, very bitter about the fact that we stayed in this house.
But you let it go.
And had to make a lot of sacrifices.
But you let it go.
And I feel like I have finally been able to let that go because time is short. And I don't want to, I know how much that bitterness really affected us in the beginning or for a while.
Unfortunately, I was kind of oblivious to a lot of that, but I'm sorry.
No, I think about all those petty fights, that I would just throw this, I blame you, this is not what I wanted.
It's not what I wanted either, by the way.
Just how really, honestly, you just took a step back and you just let me be upset.
Well, yeah, because there was no fixing that. Because, like I said, it wasn't what I wanted either. I wasn't really looking forward to doing chest compressions on my mother and that kind of stuff. No. So, it was a situation that occurred, and we dealt with it, and then we were like, okay, we have a situation here. So I get it. I can understand that where you're coming from.
It was just
Now I didn't really get it at the time, but I
just
understand
time,
now.
I think
The tincture of time.
Yeah, just letting it go. But I'm glad I have. I don't feel really that kind of burden anymore. How has your perspective on health changed since hitting midlife?
Well, I mean, obviously, in the past, you think you're indestructible. Playing, doing all this stuff. I remember just, throwing your body around, doing all that stuff. And then you realize, not so much. But I did CrossFit for how long? 3 years, something like that. And I loved the
challenge.
The challenge, the community, that kind of stuff. But I realized, and then over time, I kind of injured myself. I realized I'm doing this. And it wasn't because of CrossFit. It's just whatever, just injuring yourself, doing things. And my perspective on the health has changed. I'm like, I'm not indestructible. I'm very destructible. And so you gotta make changes. You can't do that anymore. You're not in your 20s. You gotta adjust. And
I think there's one thing that has always been an advantage for you is that you really listen to your body. The minute you felt like you were injured or something didn't feel right, you listened and you didn't push it.
No, I guess so. That's true.
Because a lot of people are like, they ignore their injuries, or they keep thinking, they just got to push harder, and then they injure themselves more, and then it gets worse.
Well, there's a difference between being hurt or hurting and being injured.
Yeah.
And knowing the difference, knowing that, I've learned to listen to that aspect quite a bit.
Maybe that's the physicians in us.
I think that makes it worse. I think we're the idiots. Well, I think sometimes doctors are not necessarily the best patients. Never. Worst outcomes, everything. Just because, I
don't know about worse outcomes.
I think people cut corners. If you're a doctor, they treat you differently. They don't. Yeah, you have to be your own advocate. You have to really know what's going on with yourself and be your own advocate, and especially if you're a physician, because sometimes things are not done as they should be, as they would be for everybody else, but he knows that or she knows that already, or they won't explain.
I always think it's the opposite, that they would go over and above because you're a physician.
Every time I take care of a healthcare professional, it just seems like they have more complications. So did you have anything that you wanted to contribute to that question?
Well,
more active interest in it.
Health is so much more holistic.
Yeah, I take 15 pills every night now?
Yeah, I can't.
I count them out.
Why?
Why?
I mean, I know why, but that's just a lot.
I didn't used to do that.
Too. My perspective on health is just so much more holistically, and everything counts. Everything. Movement, exercise, nutrition, sleep, stress management, relationships, mental health. It all matters.
Yeah, I was doing meditation for a while.
Yeah, you were.
Yeah.
That was really...
But I kept falling asleep. Is that good? I don't think it's good.
Well, no, I think maybe that's a good sign.
No, I don't think so. I think it's actually the opposite. I think in meditating, you're supposed to be actively meditating. Sounds weird to say, but I'd wake up and I'm like, what happened? So I was getting somewhere.
Well, you were that relaxed, maybe.
I don't know. I was doing the Peloton meditation stuff, and I would just
fall asleep.
I would fall asleep. What surprised you most about turning 50?
I turned 50 in July of 2020 in the heart of COVID.
You did. What did we do for you?
Nothing. We couldn't do anything.
I made you a drink or something.
My friends gave me a cake and we sat in the pool.
Oh, that's right.
And we had cake.
That was cool.
And it was outside and we were sitting with some distance. And
no, there was no distancing.
And that was how I brought in 50.
Yeah. Okay, well, how about we just do 40 then? That was the actual question. So what surprised you most about turning 40?
I almost don't even remember, because if you think about it, Mia was 5 and Rowan was 3. And I just was in the throes of raising 2.
Didn't I get you a car?
You did. You got me a convertible.
Got you a car.
Yes, you did.
That was a little weird.
That's the only thing I remember about
There's a big ass bow on it. Yeah, that was it.
No, I don't think, nothing about 40 was that memorable, maybe other than the car. But I don't even remember that.
But you didn't remember that.
You just reminded me.
I just reminded you, yeah.
So I can't really say that I had a memorable trip.
Yeah, it was just another day. It's just right? 39 to 40 wasn't a big deal. I don't remember it being anything crazy. I remember you had a surprise party for me.
Yes, I did.
And I remember being genuinely surprised. And I did appreciate that.
I threw a huge 40th birthday downtown.
That's right.
And got that 5-tiered cake.
Oakland A's, Ducati, and what was the other one? Raiders.
And
the Oakland Raiders don't exist.
5-tiered cake.
The Oakland A's don't exist. And my Ducati's just sitting outside.
2 tiers.
No, that was it.
No, it wasn't. It was 5 tiers. Oh, it was 3? 1, 2,
Just 3, yeah.
Anyway, see how memorable it is?
I remember it. That was really cool. A lot of people there downtown, and so I was surprised, genuinely surprised.
Yeah, you didn't mean.
So that was a moment of my 40th birthday, but as far as my 40s, it wasn't that of a big of a deal. It just was like, okay.
I just feel like we were in the real throes of just parenting and our careers. So thank you for submitting questions. Davin and I certainly enjoyed answering them. If you have any additional questions for us, we are very much open books, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
We're very, very open about our experiences.
So open.
With parenting, with our professions, with work, and certainly as we've made our own transitions in midlife and, what we look forward to in the future. So please drop us a question on our Facebook accounts, our Instagram accounts, and we hope that...
In the comments below.
Yeah.
I think we're going to be on YouTube.
We're going to be on all the things.
On all the things. on
on TikTok, maybe
on the Spotify.
Well, we'll see.
On the interweb.
Send us questions.